Hello everyone, welcome to this new TouchDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to recreate the next chapter of the Generative Design book. That is this kind of grid with different modes of color and interactive with the mouse. So this is the chapter P.1.2.3 and here is the code. So let's start with a new network. I'm going to put this aside. Okay, so the first thing we need to check is the code from processing. So here we have a max of 50 columns and 10 rows. So we're going to use these values, also this size of the canvas and the color mode. Okay, so we're going to go up first on the project, and we change the width to 800 and height to 800. In the look panel, we change background top to point/bg, and we go inside. Okay, so first we add a constant. This constant, we're going to add this channel tile count x, and channel 2 will be tile count y. So is this 50 and this is 10. Okay, and we add a null. Then we make the interactiveness. So we add split the window in two, and we select panel here, and after we add a panel shop, we select inside U, inside V, inside U, inside V, and we change the name to mouse X and mouse Y. Then here we are going to add a select. We're going to choose mouse X. We add after here a matte, and then we add a merge, and finally we add a null. Okay, and we copy and paste this select and matte, and we connect it to the merge, and on the select 2 we change to mouse Y. Okay, so the number of rows and columns, it's interactive with the mouse position, and we are mapping this mouse position here on these lines of code. So we go from 0 to the total width is mapped to 1 to the tile count x, that is 50. So we're going to make this for the x. So from 0 to 1, that is normalized in TouchDesigner. We're going to 1 to 50. Okay, and here we make the same. In this case is 1 to tile count y, that is 10. Okay, so here we must check that we need to do this the inverse way, because the TouchDesigner origin is this one, but the processing origin is this corner. So here we need to invert this operation. Okay, so to range 1, we're going to put tile count y, and we left this with 1. So we can select both of those math and select the integer to round. And now we have these interactive tiles. Okay, so the next step is start doing the noise thing. the random nesting. So we're going to add a noise. This noise needs to be with a resolution X of tile count X and resolution Y of 1. We change to nearest pixel and change to 32-bit float RGBA. Okay, we go to the noise page and we turn off monochrome and we select random. Okay, after this we're going to add a matte that we're going to use in minutes. Then after this, because we are making colors from RGB mode, we need to convert to HSB, so we put this HSB to RGB. And now these are the colors we need. After this, we need to crop our full image, because we need only to see the columns that is interacted by mouse X. So we change crop right to pixels and we drag mouse X. So now you can see this cropping pixels. We also put nearest pixel on those two also. Okay, and after this we add a fit. This fit needs to be fill, and resolution we select parent panel size, and on pixel format we select 32 RGB and nearest pixel. So now we have this width or size that we have in the beginning, and the next step is to add a displace that we're going to use in a few seconds. After this we add a null, and this null we change to BG. Okay, so we are almost there. The next thing is to make the displays of the columns, to make this kind of grid. And this displace is made by the count in Y. So to make this displace, we need to add here a pattern chop. This pattern chop needs to be ramp. The length of the pattern chop is the mouse Y count. And after this, we change this to tops. Here on chop to top, we change here to 32-bit float mono and nearest pixel. And now these are the values that make our ramps, maybe, or displace tiles. But we need to displace in the Y position, not in X. So we add here a flip, and the flip we change the flop to bottom left, and now we have our vertical values to displace. Okay, we change also to nearest pixel, and we connect it to the second input of the displace. Okay, so it's not working yet because we need to change some parameters here. So first we change the vertical source to none, because we don't need displace on the Y position. The source midpoint needs to be 0, and the displace weight we leave it as 1 by now, and the displace weight on Y we don't need it also. Here we are having some displays, and the trick is to change this to nearest pixel, so we can start seeing this kind of patterns. So let me see. Okay, and the last thing and important is to make this as the extend, change it to repeat. So now we are having almost the same output that we have here in processing. Okay, yes, we're almost there. As you can see here on the processing, I'm going to open it again. Sorry. Here you can see that this movement is perfectly done by the width of the rectangles that are drawn. So if we go back here to TouchDesigner, we don't see the same behavior. So to achieve something like that, but not the same, we can use this line of code in processing that tells us that we need to displace the length of the width of the rectangle being drawn. So we're going to, here on displace weight, we're going to drag this mouse X, and we're going to type parent dot width. We're going to divide our width by the number of columns. So now you can see now this more rectilinear movement, but you can also appreciate this kind of shifting that this is made because we're using this displace method. Okay, but we're going to leave it like that, and we're going to add to start programming the next part, that is the interactiveness with the colors. So here you can see that we have different modes that are mapped to the keyboard on the by the numbers of the keyboard. So we're going to add this part, and we're going to start using these lines of code. So first, as we have these values interpreted as HSV that are normalized, so we need to rearrange these outputs so we can make this randomness method but with the noise. Okay, so our values needs to be normalized, so we're going to divide the values we have here by 360, the values we have here by 100, and the values we have here by 100. So to make this, first we can use this constant constant. So our first channel is min h, second channel is min max h, min s, max s, min b, max b. Okay, we can change the name to mode 1 because we are going to copy and paste these modes. And then we add a switch, and finally a null. Okay, and before we write these modes, we're going to make the mapping. So this null, we're going to view it, and we're going to select math tree. We're going to drag min h to range R1 and max h to range R2. And we divide by 360 because it's the total hue value. Here we make the same with S, max S by 100, and min B, max max B, oops, max B by 100, 100, sorry, 100. Okay, so we're going to look now at this code. So we start with a mean value from 0 to 360 and 0 to 100, 0 to 100. So 0, 360, 100, and 100. So now you can start seeing that the colors looks like the ones on this sketch. If I press the one value, it looks similar. So we're doing good. Okay, so we add the next mode. This mode needs to be 0 to 360, 0 to 100, and 100. So to make a constant value, we just need to set the min and the max to the same value. Okay. Okay. So mode 3 says that is 0 to 360, 100, and 0 and 100. Okay. Mode 4. Oops, sorry. Mode 4, 0, 0, and 0 to 100. 0, 0, 0. Okay, mode 5 is 195, 195, 100, oops, sorry, not yes, 100 and 0 to 100. Okay, and 6 is the same, but we change these ones. Okay. Okay, so we're on mode 7, 0 to 180. 80 to 100 and 50 to 90. Mode 8. 180 to 360. Okay, 80 to 100 and 50 to 90. It stays the same. Okay, next is mode 9 and mode 0, maybe. Okay, this is 0 to 360, 100, and 0 to 100. And the mode 0 is 192, 192, random 0 to 100, and 10 to 100. Okay, so now we have our modes. So we are going to select all of them and we're going to put it on the switch. And now we just need to make these changes of the mode, the index of the switch. As you can see, the modes are now visible. And to make this interaction, we need to add a keyboard in. This keyboard in, we're going to select all of the numbers from 1 to 9 and also 0. And first, we're going to add here a logic. This logic needs to be channel pre-up to radio button. So we only have one channel at a time. Then we add a fan, so we can just have one channel interpreting all of these changes. One in, and we add a merge, we add a rename, and finally we add a. Okay, so before we continue, I'm going to add this, open the processing sketch again. And as you can see, if I press any of the modes after, well, if I press any of the modes, it changes also the seed of the randomness. So always we have different colors. And also to make this, we're going to use the same keyword in. We're going to also add here another logic. This logic we're going to change to combine channels to OR. So we're going to have active with any of the buttons. After that, we add a count. So every time we press any key, we have a different value. And we have now these interactions. So finally, we here on the rename, first we type seed, and second we type mode. I can close this. I'm going to open this null, and first on the noise we drag the seed to the seed. So now if I on each mode, you can see that I have a different seed. And finally we change, we drag this mode channel to this index. So now we're done with this reproduction of the processing sketch. As you can see, we have also the same values, except for this mode 9 and 0, because if we go back here to processing, as this is made of arrays, so I can count from the amount of the array and change some changes. So here we have different values depending on which index is right now. And also of this, but we can make this with this displace method. We can't do this here on TouchDesigner. So that's the only difference, but almost the other things are the same. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the tutorial. I hope you like it. If you make it, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. And so to remember that this will be available for all my patrons, and I want to thank you for your patience and for your trust in my work. Thank you for all the people that are subscribed to my Patreon. So I will leave this sketch available for download, and also I want to show you another more thing that is only available for my patrons. So as I said before, I saw that this method is not all identical, so I take time to upload this tutorial because I wanted to find the perfect way to make this reproduction, and I found it. So I'm going to add another tutorial where I'm going to show these two kinds of reproduction, that if I make it visible here, you can see that now I'm having the same behavior that is made on processing. So I'm very happy to show you how to make this. We're going to use two forms or two methods to achieve it. One is with tops, and this is will be with subs. So I think it's funny and interesting to know this, and this tutorial will be available only for patrons. So if you are interested in know how to achieve this more perfect reproduction, subscribe to my Patreon. So now I think this is the end of the tutorial. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Goodbye.